Well, welcome everybody to another episode of the 2 Minute Drill with yours truly, and no risk and no premium, guys. What is up and what is happening, guys? Did we not play out almost to a T of how we called it yesterday? Didn't quite get the sell off, but we had the pre-market move, which we knew would come. If you guys remember, I said this 372 to 374 range, I would probably take a look at longing there. Well, it did exactly that. It got down to that level pre-market and then went rocket ship right back up. And we had a slight sell at the end of the day, a little bit higher volume here than normal. This yellow line here is the 50-day moving average of the volume. So definitely more than this, it's been hanging out a lot underneath all these levels, levels, but, still closed green for the day. I think one thing to note is, didn't quite hold this 20-day moving average 379.90. So that is a close below. So we have the PPI tomorrow. What is a PPI? Producer price index. We had the CPI today, consumer price index. Basically, it's the opposite side. It's the supply side. So if you look over here, this was the consumer price index last time, and this was the producer price index. Not quite the same move. Don't know if we're going to get a gap down, gap up. I know that we will get some movement, though, in the pre-market. All right. So for me, I think this, if your pivot can really just be 380, 380, 380, 380 above, bulls want above, bears want below, really. I wouldn't really be that comfortable taking a long off a 374 area anymore, just because of how many times it's been tested. So for me, I would probably look to see if we lose 370, I call it 378-ish. I'd want to see if we lose 374-ish, I probably want to get short there underneath 374 if we lose that. And I think we can ride that down to at least 370. Small gap here at 369. Eventually, I think if we do lose 374, we ultimately are going to make new lows, though. Okay, new lows. Above 380, though, and above the 20 MA, I'd look for a move back to the 5 MA, so you could take a stab long there above. Although, guys, these levels right now, they're all going to be wish-washy in the morning because there will be a ton of movement just like this morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But below all the MAs nonetheless, so we'll have to see where the action brings us. But to the upside, very easy. I'll go 380, okay, 384. Then we have 389. 392, 395, 400. Guys, when I give numbers above, that is resistance. Okay. I would not be playing the breakout there, okay, at any of those levels, but that is resistance. I'd be actually looking at a rejection for a put to take a short position. I think the best risk reward would be in that fashion. Just like when I give 374, 370, right? 369, 365, 362. Those are all supports. The only support I really be looking at given a long after now would be 370. After the 374 break down to the downside, I'd probably be looking at 370, maybe take a small stab long there because the beginning of this gap, I think it would be a good risk reward for a nice bounce. But ultimately, if we lose 370, I definitely would get short for at least another 5 to 8 points downside. And then underneath for 362, if we do want to get really bad, 358, 354, and then that 50% retracement at 350. That's all I got, guys. Very simple stuff. Get your levels right. Get your mind right. Get your homework done. And I'll see you bright and early in the pre-market. Peace.